Well, hi everybody, it's Patricia Warby, Alchemy Therapies here, and I'm so excited because I wanted to tell you about the Emotional Audit program, which is running again. It starts in February, on February the 24th, 2022, and this is a chance for you to take stock of your life, to actually find out that the things that happened to you in the past are not over as far as your body is concerned, and see what you can actually do about that. And I think this is the first program that I know of that brings together the biology as well as the biography. In other words, it brings together the idea that what happened to you not only changes your brain and creates a sense of threat in your system, but it changes the way your body responds also in its general response to life situations. So it changes your heart rate, the way your blood pressure regulates, your gut digests, the way your immune system functions, because the same part of your brain that is involved in survival and threat, the back part of your brain, is also engaged in kind of tuning in and channeling and changing your physiology. It's a sort of what we call a homeostatic mechanism. So it's kind of checking in what's going on for you. Now, if you've got a lot of experiences that you haven't resolved, usually emotional experiences from your childhood, then that actually lodges as a sort of memory impression, a sense impression in the back part of your brain, which then changes the way your body works. So this isn't just a problem of the mind. It's not just leading to mental symptoms like depression or anxiety, but it also gives you maybe chronic health issues as you age. And so I think this is one of the first programs that really seeks to address that. And it takes you through a 7-module program, which I've called the Emotional Audit. And I'm going to take you through a little bit of that now, just to show you what's in it, because I've just worked so hard to produce material that you can actually take home. You can download, you can go through at your leisure and work out and do exercises and read stuff. It's very comprehensive. I've put my heart and soul into this program. And as I say, I don't think the material is found anywhere else, certainly nowhere that I've found. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to take you through some of it. And here we go. And here we go. So I'll just put that on slideshow. Okay, so this is the 7 modules, and you see I've color coded them, and I wanted to do that not just because rainbow colors are rather lovely and they also remind me of kind of freedom and acceptance, which is what I'm all about, but also because it's nice and easy to kind of see a progression here through the stages 1 to 7. So stage 1 then is looking at an overview really of what's going on and why you might be stuck with some of the symptoms that you have. Anxiety, fatigue, or pain, for instance, are very common, but it can be all kinds of symptoms. And the question you might be asking yourself at this point is, why can't I get better when I've tried everything? And that's what I hear over and over again from clients asking me, you know, what's different about what you do? Well, firstly, I deal with the emotional aspect of your life experience, and what is stored in your body. And not many people work in that area. A lot of people might suggest you go and get, you know, some counseling or psychology intervention, but that's really dealing with the thinking brain, not the feeling sensations. And the work I do is very, very different. And I wanted to distill the best of what I do into a program that people can do with me as a group healing program, and that's what I've created. And so this first overview session is really looking at what trauma is, and trauma is a word that you might be hearing more and more of now. It used to be quite an uncommon understanding, but emotional trauma is now recognized as being one of the main determinants of your life. It overrules things like smoking or exercise or diet. If you've had childhood experiences that have been traumatic to you and haven't been dealt with, your nervous system is on a continual alert, and it changes, as I've said, the way your body functions. So it has very real, very physical effects in your life, and it changes your behavior and therefore your life experience. So that's the first module, is really about introducing that concept, that the stress response is what changes when you've had those kinds of life experiences. And I've got a course overview PDF, which is quite comprehensive, and I'll obviously be giving that to you immediately. You get access to the video, you get access to all of these supplementary materials as well. And I've been working very hard on increasing the number of supplementary materials. So there may actually be more than are shown here. And of course, there's the video of the presentation, which you'll get access to watch. Now, bear in mind that you've got basically 2 weeks to catch up and watch and read and do whatever exercises are set before you come together to talk about the module. Now, the only variation on that is the first one, and that's just because the way it works out. I release the first module on the 24th, and then you get the chance to come together as a group and discuss that a week later. But generally, it's a 2-week gap, because after that first discussion group, you will have then the next module released almost straight after the discussion. So you'll have another 2 weeks before the next discussion group. So I've extended the period with which you have access to the materials, because that was feedback from the previous course, which was that, you know, I only gave you a week, and a lot of people struggled to read and do everything because there's so much here. But, you know, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. It's doable. You take it piece by piece. There's usually 2 or 3 supplementary materials per module, including, in fact, the slides, which you'll have as a PDF. You'll also obviously have the video. You have an audio MP3 version if you prefer to listen to information rather than view it. It's also good to maybe reinforce the video, so you could watch the video first and then listen to the MP3, and you can do that while you're doing the housework or, you know, doing other things. So it's really possible to catch up. So moving on then to the first of the first 7 core modules is the module 2, which is accept. It's the A. You'll notice every module has a sort of mnemonic. A, U, D, I, and T, of course, spells the word audit. So second module is accept. And this is a stage where you know you need to do something. So you're there, you've gone beyond perhaps just being completely unaware of the problem, to realizing that your past is still present in your body. In other words, it lives on. It's a sort of memory component. And the unresolved emotions is another kind of phrase for trauma, and it's common, very, very common in people's experience. In fact, that's what I had. That's why I've written this program, is because that's where I began, you know, realizing that the experiences I'd had as a child, although I haven't had outright abuse or neglect, I'd had certain things that had happened that had changed the way my body worked and made me much more prone to stress and therefore to chronic illness. And so this one is titled Wounded, Not Broken, because I want everyone to understand that the wounds of your childhood are not the same as being broken, because wounds can heal. If something's broken, it makes you feel really desperate, and, you know, there's no hope in that. So just understanding that where you are isn't your fault, you know, and that this higher stress response will tip you over into stress and therefore these negative consequences. And there's some more information there. Let's just go back. So I shouldn't have done that. There's some more information there on trauma as well, which you'll get with video 2. Stage 3, module 3, is understanding, you know, getting into an understanding of how past adverse experience, sometimes also called ACE, adverse childhood experience, programs your body, increases your sensitivity to stress. But you understand they're all unconscious, so there's no blame here, there's no shame, there's no it's your fault, it's something you did. A lot of these responses are completely unconscious, so just understanding that is a relief. Actually, it's a relief to a lot of the people I took through the course last time, and was really helps to switch off that negative internal voice that says, you know, I'm to blame, or there's something I need to do and I don't know what it is, which often keeps these situations going. So understanding that the past is not over, that the brain doesn't have a timestamp. This part of the brain doesn't, and so things that happen do feel like they're continually happening. They never stop. So that changes the way your body feels, the way you feel. You'll feel under threat or stress all the time, and you don't know what the cause is. So this is really important to understand. And there's a little quiz to do here, a couple of quizzes, in fact, to check where you are on the sort of ACE score, and also find out your sensitivity as well, because a lot of people don't realize that sensitivity is an actual thing. It's not just a perception. It determines how your brain reacts to things, and it can be part genetic, but also part experience as well. And number 4 is discover, and here we begin to move you to a more active state. So we look at how the body remembers, and we tell you how the limbic system works, and the autonomic nervous system links to the limbic brain, and how trauma therefore communicates to the whole of your body to downregulate your rest and repair mechanisms. And mostly, very importantly, your energy delivery. So you end up maybe fatigued or in pain for reasons you can't determine, and which modern medicine has very little answer for. So there's a very lovely document actually in this one about hidden trauma, which I've written based on the book that I wrote, but it's a distilled version specific to this course. You can't find it anywhere else. And then we move you on to session 5, which is implement. So here you start to make the connections and learn that you can actually do something. And so bodily safety is key. So safety here is key to any transformation. You can't do it if you're in fight and flight or in threat. We have to reverse that message of threat to one of what we call neurobiological safety. And that helps to overwrite the message of threat. And it also lays the foundation for changing that response. And so we show you some of the very simple home techniques which you can use without any expensive purchases. It just uses things that you're likely to have at home. And indeed, it uses your body. So you always have your body. And there's a little bit of downloadable material here on some of the tools and techniques that you're likely to come across, and the ones that I use with my clients. And of course, we get a chance to demonstrate that and discuss it as well. By session 6, you're really moving into the more post-traumatic growth area. So we're looking into what you can do to thrive rather than just survive, which is where many people are. And this is an exciting stage. I mean, this is wonderful to do, and to bring people through this whole process to adaptation and building a sense of resilience. And that actually is because our brain is not fixed, it's actually plastic. We call it neuroplasticity. So you can actually change the way your brain works. You don't have to stay stuck with how you've always been. You can actually move forward, and there's lots of info here. There's a video, of course. There's the brain neuroplasticity PDF, which is a really very well researched document that I've, combined from many other sources, some of the best books and some of the reading I've done, which helps to explain and give you solutions for how you might change that. And I also give you in this module some apps and access to the apps. I don't provide you with the apps, but you can download them. Some are free, some are not, but they're ones that I've researched thoroughly to find out which are the best ones for home use. So if you've got a smartphone, you can have access to some of these amazing programs that change the way your brain works and help to calm that stress response. And then module 7, as you might imagine, is a sort of summary. It's where we tie things up. There's a little quiz to do. There's some more on the tools and techniques. And in fact, there's also access to a bonus session, which I recorded specifically for after session 7. So it's really putting into practice the tools and showing you how they're used, and you get to watch that and practice at home. So that's really the full program. I don't think there's anything like this out there. I think it's an extraordinary program. I know some of the feedback I got was amazing, and everyone who came through the program, I saw huge shifts in them. Even people who had done everything, and even people, in fact, who'd been in counseling for years or had been on other programs. Actually, I think partly that's obviously the quality of the information here, but it's also the group dynamic. And that's what I really want to encourage you to share, because healing on your own is tough. You know, it's tough because you've got to try and change the brain with the brain that you've already got. And that's very hard. It's so much easier when you get to share and support with a community of like-minded people. So if that sounds interesting to you and you would like to uncover a new you, then get in touch. I'll leave the links below, but you can find me on myemotionalaudit.com and also on alchemytherapies.co.uk. That's my regular website that's got all the details of the EA program as well. So I'm going to stop share there. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you on the program. Do sign up. There's a limited number of places. So see you there. Bye for now. Bye.